Giants fans, day one of the NFL draft is over, but we still have 2 more days. And the Giants, they have 3 selections to make on day 2 of the draft. So if you trust Joe Schoen to make the New York Football Giants great again, like this video, what he did in day 1, he has my ultimate faith and trust. So like this video if you believe Joe Schoen will make the Giants great again. Welcome in to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Day 1, it's in the past. Day 2 is here. The Giants have 3 selections, and we're going to go through a Day 2 NFL mock draft. I think it's important to, once again, get to know the players the Giants might select with pick 36, pick 67, and pick 81. But let's start with the best players on the board, the guys that kind of fell out of round 1 and are going to be maybe on the board when the Giants are on the clock at pick 36. Nakobe Dean, I love him, the inside linebacker out of Georgia. In my opinion, one of the best, if not the best linebackers in this draft. He was my linebacker too, right behind Devin Lloyd. Then Breece Hall, arguably the best running back in this class. I like him a lot. Just not a biggest need for the Giants right now. Then 2 needs, Roger McCreary and Andrew Booth. If either of those guys are there at 36, it's going to be hard for Joe Schoen or me to pass on those guys. Then you got a receiver, Sky Moore. Reminds me of Golden Tate with the Seattle Seahawks. Then Jalen Petrie, kind of like a Honey Badger type of player, a real money backer type of safety, can really do it all. Then Kenneth Walker, the hard-nosed running back out of Michigan State. And then Arnold Ebiketie, the edge rusher out of Penn State. I don't think they'll go edge rusher after they just went Kayvon Thibodeau 5th overall. Other guys, Kyler Gordon, the cornerback out of Washington. I'm high on him, and so is Chat Sports. He's our 38th overall best player. The Giants, they need a corner. Maybe they go a corner round 2. Maybe they go one in round 3. Then Chad Muma, the linebacker out of Wyoming. George Pickens, I'm a big fan of him. I think he'd be a real deal number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. And then Travis Jones, the interior defensive lineman. Those are the top 12 guys still on the board to kick off round 2. And this is how the first couple picks, the first 3 picks in round 2 shook out in that mock draft. The Tampa Bay Bucks, they got Travis Jones, the interior defensive lineman out of UConn. Matt Corral, the quarterback out of Ole Miss, going to be the backup for Captain Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. And then Andrew Booth Jr. goes number 35 to the Tennessee Titans. So the Giants, they could go McCreary, the cornerback. But I went with the player highest on my board, and that's Nakobe Dean. Round 2, pick 36. It was too good to pass up on. There were some medical red flag questions about his knee. He didn't work out at his pro day, but he stuck with what he did at the combine. He didn't really have to prove anything more at his pro day, and I like what he did at the combine, and I don't think his times were going to be that eye-popping, but his game speed, his sideline to sideline, when he decides to stick his foot in the ground and get north and south, Nakobe Dean has some of the best instincts and first step in this draft. When you go back and watch all the games at Georgia, he was the one that popped off the page the most for me. He was the captain of that defense. He got everybody aligned. He was the guy that was supposed to be a top 10 pick in this draft, but he slipped down like a lot of good players do in the NFL draft. And if the Giants can get him at pick number 36, it would be a day 1 starter alongside of Blake Martinez. You would fix that linebacking core, and your front 7 after the first 3 picks in this draft would be looking really nice. His instincts are elite. His strength is not his strongest suit, but he's a solid athlete. And he's a very smart person on and off the field. A 3.55 GPA, that's way higher than I ever was, and it was in mechanical engineering. He did have limited testing due to some injuries, a knee and a pec injury, but when you go back and look at what he did on the actual football field, this guy has top 10 talent in this draft. He can be good against the run, 72 tackles, 10.5 tackles for loss. He can get after the quarterback, 6 sacks, and he's good when he decides to drop into coverage. 5 pass breakups and 2 interceptions. Nakobe Dean is your prototypical 3-down linebacker as we go on and progress in the modern-day NFL. And if him next to Blake Martinez with Tate Crowder as your 3rd linebacker, you're going to be sitting really nice if you're the New York Giants. I went with Nakobe Dean, but let me know, who do you want the Giants to pick at number 36? Is it Andrew Booth? Is it Roger McCreary? I understand both those guys. I had them slightly below Nakobe Dean. I stuck to best player available because that's what I think Joe Schoen's going to do. But let me know, who do you want the Giants to pick at number 36? And hit that big red button and turn on your notifications. Subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports, hosted by your boy. Because look, when the pick for 36 goes out, we'll have a video up on the channel within minutes breaking down the pick. I'll give you my immediate reaction. I'll take your pulse from the fan base because here at Chat Sports, it's a two-way conversation, and we thrive off audience interaction. We pride ourselves on that. So go down, hit that big red button because we have free daily videos every single day, not just during the NFL draft. We just don't pop up when the draft coverage is here. We're here all year long, June, July, dog days of the NFL season. We're still going to be putting out content every day. So lock us in. Go down and hit that big red button right now. Help us get to 8,000 subscribers. Giants are on the clock yet again at the top of the third round. And at pick number 67, these were the best players available by the Chat Sports Big Board. Breece Hall could be the best running back in this class. He'd be a good duo with Saquon Barkley. Trey McBride, the number one tight end in the class, reminds me a lot of other tight ends in the NFL that have done well and dominated on third down. I see a little bit of George Kittle in him, but not as good after the catch. I also like John Mechie, the wide receiver out of Alabama. I also like Nick Cross, a very physical safety that likes to come downhill, has good speed and lay the hat. But Kyler Gordon, the Washington DB, he was the highest player on my board, and that's why I selected him with the 67th pick in the NFL draft. Kyler Gordon and New York Giants blue alongside Adoree Jackson would be a nice CB1, CB2 duo alongside Aaron Robinson as your CB3. Kyler Gordon, he's 5'11", about 200 pounds, ran a 4.5 40. He's an awesome athlete who has bunnies. He can jump out of the gym. I think his overall, let me get the exact number right here. His vertical jump was, let me see if I can find it. Right here, his vertical jump, 40 inches. 40 inches for Kyler Gordon. While he may be a little bit smaller in stature, he makes up for it with his athletic ability. He did have a little limited experience. He was a one-year starter at Washington. He was their second quarterback this year. But his ball skills, his ability to attack the football and turn into a wide receiver when the ball's in the air, I love it. 7 pass breakups last year, 2 interceptions. He's not afraid to get into the backfield and get a little dirty and deliver a hit. 2 tackles for loss and 45 total tackles. I like him a lot as a prospect. Overall, he does need to continue to mature in his technique and coverage awareness, but his fluidity and toughness are ideal for the next level. As he continues to develop the mental side of the position, he has all the skill sets to become a full-time NFL starter. This is someone that could be a long-term starter for the Giants as their second cornerback. I went with Kyler Gordon. There was still a lot of good football players on the board in our draft simulator at pick 67. So I want you to get in the comments, get it off your chest, and let me know who would you have picked with that selection at number 67 at the top of the third round. If you want to stay locked in for NFL draft coverage for every single pick, rounds 2 through Mr. Irrelevant, go and subscribe to our main Chat Sports channel. That's youtube.com/chatsportstv. We are the number one draft hub on all internet, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere you can get content. We're the best at the NFL draft. So subscribe. Help us get to 300,000 subscribers on our main channel. We're going to be live every single pick. Look, we're not going to be eating pumpkin pie and talking about players who had hardships growing up and you didn't know who their parents were and their brother had to be the dad and all that nonsense. We don't talk about that. We talk about the football player and the type of effect they're going to have to the team that drafts him. So lock us in, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Final pick for the Giants on day 2 of the NFL draft. At 81, these were the best players on the board. Trey McBride, the tight end out of Colorado State. He was one of the best players on the board at 67, and he's still on the board here. Logan Hall, the interior defensive lineman out of Houston. The Giants, they could use another nose tackle. I think Hall could play that, but not his strongest suit. Then Greg DeLuch, the tight end out of UCLA. You got 2 tight ends on the board. We know that's a big need for the Giants. Matthew Butler, the defensive lineman from Tennessee. I like him a lot as a run stopper. And then Justin Ross, who was at one point a top 10 projected pick after his freshman year, but then a spinal injury and some other injuries started to tack up, and he's fallen down the draft boards. I'll tell you in a second who I picked at number 81 overall, but I want to let you know about Rumble, an awesome video platform where content creators are posting content, and we're doing it now with our New York Football Giants videos. Giants News and Rumors videos by Giants Now is going to be on Rumble. It is already, and we're almost at 1.5 thousand subscribers. Help us get to 2,000, because look, free, uncensored content. There's sports, news, politics, text. Your comments, they won't get blocked. Anything you want to say to me, it'll get in the comment section and get through. So give us a follow, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. And one of my favorite things about Rumble is you can turn off your phone. You don't have to watch me talk. You can just listen to the audio like a podcast. Give us a follow, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. With pick number 81, I had the Giants selecting Trey McBride, the tight end out of Colorado State. I love this pick. I thought about taking him at pick number 67. This is someone that I think is going to be a great player in the National Football League. McBride, he had a hell of a career and a lot of production last year at Colorado State. He could be a focal point of your offense with speed, hands, size, and pass catching. He has all the advanced route running technique. This is someone that I think is going to be a third down machine and could be a safety valve for a guy like Daniel Jones. When he's in trouble, look over the middle, there's big 85 running across. Because last year at Colorado State, 90 receptions, almost 1,200 yards. Did have just one touchdown, had about 12.5 yards per catch, but he was a unanimous All-American, the John Mackey Award winner, first team All-Mountain West. He led the team in receiving, and he was also a team captain. At 6'3", 246 pounds, the guy ran a 4.5 40. This is someone that has elite size, elite speed, elite, and I would say a veteran type of route tree. He just knows how to get open. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to use his frame. Him and a Brian Daboll offense, I think he could be a Dawson Knox on steroids for the New York Giants. These are the first three picks, or the only three picks, I should say, the Giants have in day two. You get Nakobe Dean. If that happens, I'm going to be a very, very excited guy. Then you get Kyler Gordon, who could be a day one starter for the Giants, opposite side of Adoree Jackson. And then Trey McBride, you get him to round out round three, a playmaking tight end for the Giants. Grade this mock draft for me, though. If it fell out like this, how would you be feeling? Would you be happy? Would you be like, we passed on some good players? Would you be sad? Would you be mad? Would you be throwing your TV through your remote through your TV? Grade it for me, A, B, C, D, or F. If I don't get at least one F, I'm going to be upset because it's not a good mock draft unless you get one F. I appreciate everybody that's made this video and New York Giants Now a part of their day today. Because, look, we can't do it without every one of you and all of you loyal subscribers. So thank you. Thank you for everybody that joined our live stream yesterday and watched all 4 of our videos that went out over the first round of the NFL Draft. I appreciate it. But give me a follow on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Trying to get to 2,000 followers. The more followers I get, the more I'm going to tweet. It's just science. Help me out at @MarshallGreen_.